tool. It's the guideline for how the relationship will proceed, right? The second part that we'll have to discover is how do we act? Partner persona, if we have a partner persona score, that'd be great. But the partner persona, I think, is just a way for understanding how to approach the partner. Like, does this partner have a budget, a luxury, a comfort, or a exotic type property? It doesn't really tell us. I don't know. Maybe actually, I think Ross has been working on persona classifications, right? So that's more for dealing with how do we manage and talk to a certain type of partner. But what you're really asking, I think, is does this partner get along? Do they have good integrity? Will they be sneaky? Will they do some things that are not quite there? So that is a little bit more difficult. Okay, that is we're only able to determine that if we interview the partner, if we spend more time with them. That's the only way that we can actually understand that, right? So it's a little bit like hiring. We're essentially like hiring a new partner, right? We won't really know how they perform until after they've done a few things. So the buy-in process here, I'm thinking, is not entirely necessary, okay? Because the first part, the guest compatibility, that can be moved to BI's job at the very beginning. So I think BD, the sales team, needs to just go to BI and say, hey, this is what we're pursuing right now. Should we go or should we not go, right? And BI can go, yes, that is in the right region. That is the right type property. That is desirable. Go for it, right? And then you sign the contract. For the partner compatibility issue, that is more of an experience that we're going to have with the partner. The guideline is the contract. The community side should know what's in the contract, though, right? And then what we really need to do is inspect. We need to inspect and see, are we fulfilling the contract? Is the partner fulfilling the contract, right? And then that becomes the basis of if we have a good relationship with the partner. Does that sound fairly logical to everybody? Yeah? Okay. Let me pass by Lilith. Lilith, what do you think?
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. I think previously why we come up with the squat buy-in idea, it's because of we think that some property is because there's a property that is not generating revenue, right? But it is
Right.
MQL.
MQLs are wrong.
Yeah, perhaps the problem might be MQL. Sorry, the root cause. Perhaps the MQL is not updated, or later we can do squat buy-in as the solution. Then, if we choose the MQL evaluation, then the MQL should be the buy-in, right? I mean, MQL should decide whether this go or no go. But for some cases, actually, yesterday, like the Villa Tempayan, right? It's kind of expansion case. So I think we need to do buy-in, not really buy-in. I mean, like discussion with the next funnel that would like to handle it. So yeah, I think that's what Nadine said. Perhaps the MQL needs to be monitored by the next user
Right.
of the
Right.
partner.
And
I
we
think
have to
that
ask ourselves another question here, Lilith, right? Which is, does community have the best idea of what properties are selling, or is it more HAR has the better idea of what sells or doesn't?
I think for guest side, HR and marketing team has more, and BI also, right? The 3%.
Right.
But for the community, it's more into uh, the quality in terms of the quality itself. It's not the whether they are actually market fit, but the quality in terms of, hey, is this wall actually okay, something like that, sir. So it's
Oh, like that. Okay.
the quality
Uh,
property.
but let's take another look at this, right? So the properties we haven't booked, right? The new property, if I understand correctly, we're creating a buy-in situation so we avoid a problem like this. We onboard a new property and it doesn't sell. Is that correct? Right? That's kind of like one of the fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next question we need to ask is, did any of these properties get inspections? Does the actual guest know what the property actually looks like? Or did they not even show up and not rent it even? Did they reject it after they inspected, or did they reject before the inspection?
For some cases, like, what's example? Like the I forget actually. Let me pick the Uma Canggu. There's a property that haven't visited yet for the guests. It means that there's no inquiry, right? So from the beginning, from the awareness side, we cannot even bring awareness like directly to the property. So that's a problem.
Right. So there's no. So checking the property wouldn't fix that problem, right?
Checking the property would not present.
Inspecting the property for quality, like, is everything okay there? That wouldn't fix that problem, right?
At the beginning, you mean at the beginning, right?
Right. So we're here. Let's go back to the root. So we said that having the buy-in from community so that the community could check the problem, inspect the quality of the actual physical building, right? But if guests have never seen this physical building, right, and they're still not coming, then even if the community person checks it, it wouldn't it wouldn't make a difference, right? Because the guests are not rejecting the property due to what they see on site. The guests are just not buying the property
Yeah.
even before even looking at it, right?
Yeah. The case is actually, I think there's a different case. For example, like Villa Nayaka, right?
Mhm.
Before onboarding, the quality is actually, we need to improve something. And then it
Okay.
can actually be done before the onboarding. We need to identify whether the owner is willing to improve the quality of the property or not.
Right. Okay. So
Yeah,
that
something
can
like that.
happen at contract level, right? Not necessarily at this level. So why would we sign a contract with an owner who doesn't want to possibly transform?
Yep.
Unless
But we need to understand what kind of transformation that they need to do in the property, right?
Right. And that type of engagement is not something that, let's say, is easily evaluated by the rest of the community team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some just like this, right? We used to have interviews, attendee, Rafi, you remember, we used to put candidates through and they would interview with everybody on their teams, right? But what we found was that not everybody was a good judge of character, right? Like, it doesn't mean that if they interview with everybody on the team and everyone says this person's great, that means that person is great. Sometimes we're like, we can't tell capacity. We don't understand, how to tell motivation or integrity. So what we did was we specialized it. We said, okay, HR specifically would then look after that particular aspect, right? So I'm thinking similarly here, right? When we say, all right, we're going to delegate somebody to judge whether or not this person is actually a good fit for the Bukit Vista community, then maybe, babe, Wyatt,
Yes.
maybe buy-in needs to happen at, let's say, the initial pitch level, right? So you can think of the pitch as two parts then. One is selection, the other is persuasion, right? We're trying to persuade them to come to
Oh,
us.
actually,
We're
this
also,
one, all of them, no contract yet. So I don't promise
uh,
something. So this one
okay,
is a new practice
okay,
that I haven't signed a contract yet, but I see that they interested. But I
okay,
said, hey, we not promise in. I tell the
understood,
service, this and that,
understood.
but there is a component that negotiation point, right? So the
Okay,
price has to
great,
be put to the market, and then this is to be improved, and then if you okay all that, and then we sign the contract. So that is
right.
this is the new practice actually.
Okay, then that needs to be in the contract. And if they sign the contract, then the rest of the community team can hold them accountable to that particular agreement, right? That the
Oh,
spirit of the
that
contract,
one happened yet. So if
right?
what need
The
to be
spirit
in
of
the
the contract
contract.
should
So,
have all the things that Lilith just said about, right? So we need to have something in there that supports this owner is you are willing to actually improve and innovate and follow Bukit Vista guidelines for hospitality innovation that will transform your property to do better over time, right? Now,
okay.
these innovations might not have a form at the moment, but
Who's the
they will come to,
supervisor?
right. So if you put that in and the owner agrees, then everybody in the community can just assume that that's there. That's essentially what we did in the employment contracts. People have employment contracts. Their first promise is to the mission of the company, to the vision of the company, right? And so that's essentially how you create that screening process, right? If you want to have, let's say, a person screen who you believe entire chapter has the best judge of personality, right? So in HR, that tended to be Ara. Ara tended to be very, very sharp at being able to tell if somebody was real or not real, right? So then you need to delegate it to one person who, let's say, has that skill of understanding, will this partner be a good fit for the rest of the chapter, okay? And then that person takes responsibility for partner compatibility. but most of the partner compatibility situation should be managed in the contract, right? If they sign the contract, then everybody here in community knows, okay, these are the guidelines for which we are going to cooperate. And if you don't follow them, then you're out, right? We're not going to deal with you. We're not going to keep on, doing this rigmarole. That is the most simple way to do it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand. So, but this is more like actionable point. So,
Mhm.
I understand that you want to put a new clause based on the the community that what will be in the contract, what they're gonna promise. So,
Yes.
just
Yes.
wondering, what is that clause about? Who gonna make like based on that? Like, is it from GM, from me?
Let's work on this. Let's work on this as a sub discussion, right? But what needs to be in that clause is this: we need to examine all the failed relationships that we've done, right? Because we're doing the buy-in to solve a problem, right? So
Mhm.
let's look at all the relationships that have failed within the first 2 or 3 months, the things that we do not see as being successful. Let's then understand two things: is it a guest compatibility issue, or is it a partner compatibility issue? If it is a guest compatibility issue, we will rely on HAR, BI to inform us, right, beforehand whether or not this property is guest compatible. If it is a partner compatibility issue, we will rely on the feedback of the people who are the most frustrated dealing with the partners, right? So whoever you are that is in this chapter that is the most frustrated with dealing with bad partners, you need to come forward and tell us why, right? Why is this partner so frustrating to work with? What is it about them that makes them a difficult case? And then we need to then create a clause that removes those kinds of partners from our community. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense now because of that additional. So, uh, practically,
Okay, let's do this. Let's create a task group, right?
yeah.
Lilith, who do you think we should create a task group to create this solution? Because buy-in, I don't think will solve the problem, right? Because we don't. How do you transfer the right information, right, to this
Yep.
group to buy-in? How do you transfer? Oh, who is this partner? What's their background? Like it's like hiring somebody. So you need an interview. You need to understand their capacity, their motivation, their integrity, and those are things that you can't really do without really doing face-to-face interviews and stuff like that. And we probably won't do that, right? So Lilith, let's do this. Why don't Lilith can form the task group, arrange it, and then we'll probably make an adjustment to the contract, yeah, and then inspect
Yep.
regularly to make sure that the contract is being followed.
Okay. Yeah, I think Om Rafiq can involve Mbok Wayan in Kak Tendi, Nadine. 4 people is
Okay.
enough, actually. Thank you.
Put me in too, because I originated this idea, yeah, and I can kind of quarterback it together. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Please
Okay.
take a note. Yeah. Aulia. Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm really sorry for taking too long for this one topic. Let's continue to other topics. So the conclusion for this is we do not really agree on the buy-in. Especially has what is that other opinion you may me out, or you can write down here like any disagreement that you to deliver. But at the moment, we'll proceed it by contract, like in improving the contract, and not you doing squat buy-in. Sorry, the buy-in. Yeah. Let's continue to the other topics. So I think we'll go to the third topic by Kak Tendi, which is partner manager report of the region. This is related to Pak Freddy case. I think Kak Tendi, can you explore more?
Okay, so yeah, I think this is related to overall. I think Lilis, yeah, because currently we have the partner manager on the each region, but we I haven't seen that how is the performance on the each region. For example, like because what why I propose this because first by seeing the data of the each region, so we can have a clear understanding about the what is the performance of each region. For example, like the revenue of the region one, for example, is it increasing or decreasing last month by end this month? I think the community manager should know as well about that. because if we know that, then we can engage with the partner more great. For example, like okay, so we will see like oh, which partner that actually need help, like that. And then also the transformation report as well under that. So how many partner is transformed to relationship level on the region one, like that, for example. I think the partner manager also should understand about the region. For example, like in the class we have like wali every class, right? And then also we need to understand all of our students like that in the class, yeah, because by that I think we can increasing the performance of the each region that we responsible, like that, Lilis.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Kak Tandy. So why I'm actually thinking of Pak Freddy's case, it's because Pak Freddy wants visibility, right? So this one is also related to visibility, but in a larger scope, which is region here. That might work actually, but if you'd like to report to a certain property, I mean, to all the property partners, that might good to have a region performance. But do you think we need to involve the individual performance, like comparing to the region? So that's more insightful, I think, if we can provide that.
The individual performance, right? I think
Yeah,
yeah.
like this is the general performance in your area, but your performance is just one, something like that.
Okay, so the idea is like similar with the visualization of the turnover partner list. So we do the what's called, we collect the data of the general, like the performance of the per region. Like for example, me region one, the performance, how is the performance? But we also mapping the what's called the individual issue or any opportunity on in my region, like that. For example, oh,
Mhm.
there is a new opportunity in my region, like that. There is a some growth, like construction area or something like that, Lilis.
I see. Okay. Anyone would like to give some comments on these topics? Yep, Mr. G.
Let's go back to guidelines because I love guidelines, right? I think guidelines can be great. So let's say, for example, we have two kinds of things, right? We give a situational report about the area, like Tendy suggested. But Lilith is correct. Person might not care about the situational report of the area, especially if their property isn't getting anything booked,
Yep.
right? It actually just aggravates them. If the area is doing good and their property isn't doing good, then okay, so how are we going to lead them? Remember, this is a leadership issue at the end of the day. So how are we going to lead somebody who is not, let's say, performing at the level of the region? How do we lead somebody who is performing at the level of the region? How do we lead somebody who is performing above the level of the region? So then that's three guidelines, right? That's three scenarios. So then the next thing to do, I think, is to create steps, right? These are the 5 steps we need to take in order for your property to get and perform at least at the level of the region. These are the 5 steps you need to take if you're performing at the level of the region to exceed the level of the region. These are the 5 steps you need to take if you are, let's say, above the level of the region to do even better for a longer period of time. And then simply all you do is just tell them what they need to do, right? Like, all right, if you want to do even better, these are the things that we suggest that you can take a work on. And then we'll come back next month and see how you do, right? And that becomes then how we lead them, I think, in a way. And if they want to report, that's good, right? All right, have you done this yet? Right? We've done this part. Have you done this part yet? We've done this part. Have you done this part yet? Right? So that then I think creates a dynamic. You can be very simple, right? We will ask the guests for 3 types of feedback that they want to, if they would stay longer or they would spend more money here, what would those 3 things be? And we'll share that information with you each month, right? It can be things like that. But if you have, let's say, guidelines for individual property improvement, then you just have those 3 scenarios and then you work on that. And then you tell Pot Freddy, this is what we have for you, right? And that would then be simple. It would be easy to follow. Enroll in this program, enroll in this program, enroll in this program, enroll in this program, right? And done. What do you think?
Mm. So it's kind of related to what you explained in the beginning, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I see.
So, and then you inspect, right? You say, hey, look, okay, let's come back next 3 months and see how we did. Did we actually do this on your side? Did it has to be balanced, of course. We have to do our part, but Pot Freddy also has to do his part, right? And and then Pot Freddy wouldn't be ignorant. You wouldn't have a situation where he doesn't know that we do this and he expects something else to happen, right? So I think this is how we lead and we set the expectations correctly.
I see. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Mr. Jing. Yeah, I see
Yep.
that Kat Candy's idea. It's kind of the big picture, but we need
Mhm.
to dig dive into it again into more details. What Mr. Jing said. Um, it's actually involve not only community chapter, Kat Candy. If you would like to have this report right, I mean, uh, if the performance, as Mr. Jing said, if the performance is in the standard, sorry, like in the middle, like in the average or below average and above average, then we have to get have the guidelines, perhaps the sorry, the actions, the standard action. So it's related to property optimization actually, like both
Which is
from
BI's job.
yeah, BI. Yeah, BI's job actually, this one. We just started by the property optimization actually, but we cannot cover all of the property right now.
It's okay.
But yeah, I think we can start classifying by this kind of method, I think, sir.
There you
Yep.
go. There you go. Remember this: we don't need to do things at scale right now, right? We don't
Yep.
need to think about how do we process every property, but we do need to know how do we actually get one property right, right? Which was tortoise. Now let's think about how to get three right, and then as we get more efficient, we'll come up with the correct scaling method. Don't
Yep.
worry.
Yep. Yep.
Um, but let's think about what the
I
plan
see.
is. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's how you lead.
yeah,
That's
that's actually a great idea. Like for BI, input for BI, because we currently also still developing the how to do optimization, but the classification is according to some. We discussed it yesterday in the partnership. According to some classification, not really like this one, categorizing
yep.
it into
Yep.
categories. Cool. All
I have
right.
a great analogy. Let's think about this. Has anybody seen a doctor recently? Anybody seen a doctor recently? Yeah. Well, okay. Imagine you're a doctor and you have a sick patient. Okay. You have three kinds of patients. You have sick patients, you have healthy patients, and you have super healthy patients. So you're going to tell them different things based on what they need to do, right? Maybe the sick patient, you said, okay, you need to stop smoking, you need to stop drinking, and you need to get some more exercise, right? And the healthy patient can be you just need to eat more fruits and vegetables, and you need to maybe relax a little bit more. And the super healthy patient, you can just say, hey, look, you're doing really good, and all really need to do is just get some more fresh air from time to time. So that's how you lead, right? That's why you go back to the doctor, because the doctor will tell you what you need at every given time, depending upon your situation. So as in the spirit of hospitality, let's do that. Let's think of our partners as either sick, normal, or healthy, and we administered the correct plan for each of them according to their health status. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Jing and Kat Tandy, for the inspiration.
Mhm.
Yeah. What time is it? We only have 1 minute. I don't think we can finish like all the topics. But Kat Tandy, would you like to give overview for this one?
Okay, so yeah, for the storytelling visualization, actually we last week we do the summary report of performance, right? But I still say that there's a different perspective of the how we visualize and tell the story of the our performance like that. So what we need, what I would like to ask that so actually uh, like we want to tell the story of the our performance, right? But is it what we want to tell the story of the month to month performance, or like every stage performance like that? So yeah, because just make it clear, because there's some pros and cons on that as well. So if we tell about the stage performance, then we didn't know, like, is it actually this our performance is better than last month, than a previous month, or not, like that is going on. For example, like online canvassing, do we get decreasing the sign MOU or decreasing partner from the online canvassing than the previous month, because we shown like the second one is the stage itself. Try again, MKL have done, but is it like a good performance or not, like that? With that, we don't know of this visualization like that.
Oh, so yeah, I got your point. So, what kind of information that you would like to seek from the visualization? Something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Jane, I think you look so excited. Go
I'm
ahead.
excited because guidelines answer this question again, Tendi.
Yeah.
Okay. So imagine this. In January, you used guideline 1.0 to do online canvassing. Okay. And as the month progressed, you discovered by the end of January, you have a new guideline, right? Let's say you're going to use more GIFs in your online canvassing. Okay. You're gonna use GIFs in your messaging. So first you use text messages, second month you use GIFs. So then you have something to compare, right? You have a story to tell. The story is my new method better than my old method? That's it. That's all your story should actually tell.
Yeah.
Is my new method better than my old method?
It's
Okay.
Before and after. And
yeah.
then you then show the results, right? New method looks like this,
Mm.
old method looks like this. And then that tells the story. So I started it here using the old method. And when I shifted my method to here, I did worse. Okay. Story done, right? I need to go back
Yeah.
to the old method and start again from there with a new method, right? Or I use the new method, and then when I compare it to the old method, my new method worked better. So that's it, right? That's usually the story. That's the plot of every story here in innovation. Does the new innovation solve the problem in a better way? And that's kind of it, right?
Yes.
So your timeline shows that. Whatever you've been doing seems to have slowed down the turnover. So story told, story done, right?
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah, so that's actually I would like to make the all the team member is understand about what is the storytelling of the visualization. It's because I still see the different understanding, sir, like that, about
Okay.
how we visualize.
I'll frame it this way. Every story either has a happy ending or a sad ending. Okay. The story either begins, I started here, I started at this level. I tried this, and then I ended up at this level. Sad ending, right? Or I started at this level, I tried this, and I ended up here. And happy ending. That's it. That's every story should either go, that's the plot of every story. So then the data just then confirms it. The data tells you, yes, you did actually do better, or no, you did worse, right? So, and then you just need to know what you did. What was the what, right? What did you actually do to make that result go this way or that way? That's pretty much the theme.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Jane, again, like for the insights. I think it's about summarizing the result and also the effort, basically. So comparing the previous result and current result and see which one is better, and then dig dive into what's working and not working. So basically, we just talked yesterday with, I think, Asa and also Mas Gani, and the guidelines we should put don'ts and do's. Jadi, the do's is the successful experiment, and the don'ts is the failed experiment, something like that. So that's we need to summarize at the end of the month, I think. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think the time is up, but I'd like to show you Coda, the new
Guidelines.
the new guideline format later on. I'd like to invite Kak Tendi and Omar. I'm not sure. I invite Asa yesterday and Mas Gani, but later, the format will be look like this one. So more tidy, and what we will have inside it something like this one. What's the objective, what's the guidelines, like 1 2 3 4, the if then, and then the do's and don'ts that I speak just now. So what Mr. James said is very good. We can summarize, for example, when we are doing let's see, traditional marketing on evaluating the probably quality. Wait. Okay, pitching, for example, and then we have the do's and we have the don'ts, we have the the guidelines, and then we have the objective. So yeah, I think that's very cool when we have the framework already, but we haven't put it here in the guidelines. Right. So that's that. I'd like to postpone this into asynchronous. Ross is actually having these topics. I'd like her to start the discussion by tagging someone who she wants to have opinion. And everybody, if you have any kind of answer for this, please write down here your thought. For today, I'd like to close the discussion. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for coming. And yeah, that's that. Thank you and see you later.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
See
Bye.
you.